Greetings everybody, I am here today with another uncommon herb, and this one is a really interesting one. Let's just say it has the nickname the beef and onion plant. Yeah, it is a leaf that is supposed to taste like beef. This was sent to me by Wanderlust Nursery, by the way, so if you're interested in growing this, check out the link in the description below. This is one that I would say has to be very useful for people who are vegetarian or vegan, because it's a way to get a savory, meaty flavor into something that you're cooking, but it is only a leaf. It is something that is used quite extensively in cooking, and if you don't get the fresh leaves, you can actually get this in some Chinese supermarkets. I went to a Chinese supermarket just the other day, and I saw a chili and Toon paste for sale. This is a popular thing to add to soups. It's also popular to mix with eggs. Anywhere where you'd want to throw in like a really savory tasting element to a food that you're making, this is where you can go. So I'm gonna just try a leaf completely on its own, which is not usually how it's used. Usually you would want to cook it, but let's just see if I can tell just from eating this leaf that it does taste like beef. Yup. That is very meaty tasting. Wow. That is really weird. It does taste oniony too. Kind of like if you were to bite onto some scallions. But there is like a dark broth kind of flavor to it. Now I am vegetarian. I haven't eaten beef since, I don't know if I've ever had beef. I've been vegetarian since I was 4. So maybe don't take my word for it entirely. But whenever I've eaten things that I shouldn't have been eating that had beef in them, like beef broth in them, taste like this. So I don't have a ton of experience, but a little bit of accidental eating things here and there. And yeah, I recognize this flavor as being like beef. It is not purely that. When you eat it fresh like that though, it does have a green leafy flavor to it. So you might want to do something with this rather than just like eat it on its own. There's a leafiness to it. There is a like an earthy flavor to it as well. So I think you gotta cook it, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just make 2 very simple things, just miso soup. I'm gonna make one that has a leaf in it, and I'm going to make one that does not have the leaf in it, and I'll see if one tastes more savory than the other. I have 2 teacups. This one has miso soup in it. This one has miso soup in it with Toon leaves. Let's do this. Tastes like miso soup. Tastes like a much more savory miso soup. It's there. Yeah, definitely there. It's got a different taste to it. It's not like super strong, but it's definitely noticeable. I put, I don't know, maybe like 10 leaves in there. Say if you really want to make it taste super beefy, probably put even more than that. I think if I were to use the leaves themselves and like grind them up and put it in there, it would be like really strong, but because it's just infused, it's not too strong, but it's definitely there. Yeah, if I were to get that at a restaurant, I would double check that it was vegetarian, because it does taste super beefy. It's pretty impressive. This is useful for vegans and vegetarians, but you know, where this is most commonly used in China, people just use it for the flavor, not as a replacement of meat, just because it tastes kind of like meat. So whether you eat meat or not, this is a very useful thing to have. It's convenient too. You don't have to like worry about preparing meat. You just grab some leaves and throw it in. Or you can make the paste out of this leaf as well, and it's just like in your fridge whenever you want to add a savory taste to something. And I think that's all I have to say about it, though. So thanks again to Wanderlust Nursery for sending this to me. If you're interested in growing this, check out the link in the description below. I'll also put a link to where you can get the jarred product, if I can find one. I'll put a link to that below as well. And other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, before you click out, I want to give a very special thank you to AltPod, Smarter Every Day, and the Harbor Leaf Tea Company. They are mega patrons over on Patreon.com. Patreon.com, if you haven't heard of it, it is how this channel happens. It's how I get all the funding to go on the trips I go on and how I get all the fruit that I try. So if you're interested in supporting my channel, check out the link in the description below. Another thing is that I have t-shirts for sale. Those are also available in the description below as well. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.